So guys, what hand traps to play for your opens that you're going to be going to this weekend? Start off with Moonlit Chill. I think Moonlit Chill is fantastic. I used to hate this card. I used to think it was really crap. And then I just saw loads of great applications for this card. Now, the two things that I think make this card really fantastic. The first one is that it's a level 3 tuner, which means that it helps you make Baron, which is nice. The second is that it burns your opponent. And I think this comes up in so many situations. This card lets you get away in game 3 of burns, like in winning in time, because you can put your opponent in weird positions, and a lot of players won't be able to play around getting burned by this card. Like if you do this on the Diabell Star, even if your opponent talents you afterwards, they're going to be lower on life points than you in game 3, which is going to put you in a good position, because now they have to combo really fast and you have to have a turn and it has to get back to them before they play. I'm not saying slow play them, by the way, but I'm saying that this will put you in a favorable position in game 3 where you are ahead in life points. And then also, even ignoring game 3s in terms of life points, just in terms of killing your opponent, this will burn your opponent for huge amounts of damage. Sometimes on your turn, it's even worth using this when your opponent tries to link, when your opponent sums out Flamberge or whatever, because they're going to burn for 3,000. Now you only need to do 5,000 damage. I think this card is so good. And I would say this card is almost good enough that I would play 3 of this and 2 of Ash. That's how good I think it is right now. Like, I think this card is fantastic right now and it does a really good job. Lancia is bad. I don't know. Are you scared of Flunder or something? I don't know. It's kind of terrible. Ghost Ogre is okay. I think that Ghost Ogre is good enough to play in the side deck. In some matchups, it's going to be really good. But the problem with Ghost Ogre, and I was having this discussion on my podcast actually, where the matchups that Ghost Ogre beats are almost all rogue matchups. It's great into almost every rogue matchup. However, against both Fire King, Snake Eye, and Snake Eye, it's not that good. Like, it's not better than Ash, Veiler, Imperm, Nib. It's not better than any of those. And so the problem is, it's almost like, if you're playing this card, you need to somehow have a really good matchup or not be scared of the Snake Eye matchup, but be really scared of Rogue. And it's just, a deck like that doesn't exist right now. The most relevant deck that could be that is probably Snake Eye, but there are way better cards to side than this if you're playing Snake Eye, and so that's why I don't think it's really relevant to play this card right now. Droll is good. I think Droll's very good. I think it should be in your side deck. I think the thing is, people are taking out Droll, and so people are playing greedier into Droll, but this card still does a really good job. It's not as good as some other cards. Like, there are definitely going to be other hand traps that are going to do better jobs in some scenarios, but against virtually every matchup you play against, Droll is actually really good, and going first, Droll is one of the best cards. Going first, if your opponent is Drolled, it really does hurt. In the Snake Eye mirrors, if you Droll your opponent, you can be assured that all you have to worry about now is surviving till next turn, because they're not going to be able to get access to both Field Spell. They're not going to be able to get access to Field Spell unless they draw it usually. They're not going to be able to get access to Original unless they have Witch. And so you get to play a lot greedier. You get to just focus on surviving, and the next turn now you have all the resources and you can surge. I think Bell is good. I think Bell's an okay card. I wouldn't personally main deck it. My problem with Bell is I don't think it does enough in enough situations, but I still think it's very good. I think Veiler is also very good. Again, you should play this card. Imperm is main deck worthy. I think with talents being so popular, this is the only hand trap that doesn't, well, there's probably another trap hand trap that doesn't play into talents. Oh, Shifter as well, I guess. But I think that Imperm is just fantastic. It's the only consistent way to interact with your opponent and not get punished by talents or called by. And yes, it gets hit by crossout, I guess, but that's it. And so just because of that, I think, yeah, you need to play this card. It's just too freaking good. This card, I can't even remember what she does, but I know she's shit. And as of that card as well, Saravis, we've been seeing a few Snake Eye players put this into their deck, and we're also seeing that Silent Force plays this card. So this card's okay. I mean, yeah, it does a good job. I wouldn't personally play in Snake Eye. I think there are better options than trying to dodge one targeted hand trap in a meta where people are playing like 17 in the deck. But I think you're playing Silent Force, you're going to be playing this card anyway, so play it. But yeah, really good card. Shifter's OP, but unfortunately not everyone can play it. But if you can play Shifter, yeah, go ahead, get it. Contact C, don't play it. Nib is also very good right now. The thing about Nibiru is that Snake Eye plays into Nibiru, and if you're not playing against Snake Eye, you probably have to play into Nibiru to break their board. And so this card just does such a fantastic job. And then when you're playing loads of hand traps as well, this card gets exponentially better. Really love this card. It's going to do an absolutely fantastic job. Token Collector is not relevant unless Sword Souls somehow dominating at your locals. I think the Bestials are really good right now. I think they should be in everyone's side deck. Now, the thing about the Bestials is that they have to be used in a smart way a lot of the times. So you have to be careful about when you hit your opponent with them and how you hit your opponent with them. You have to be careful not to play into talents and things like that. But these cards just do such a good job of hitting so many cards right now that yeah, I really love them. Like, they're really nice in Silent Force. They're really nice in the Snake Eye matchup because you can do things like banish witches, banish link reavers, banish IPs. You can use these cards to out-summon Limit. You can do things like Chain Block of Phoenix when you're trying to out-summon Limit. I mean, yeah, these cards are just so good right now. Marionette is not relevant. Ash, yeah, you have to main deck it. So just to kind of, there's been a lot of discourse recently about should I play Ash, should I not play Ash? And so here is the answer. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, this is the guaranteed answer. Chances are, you are not Joshua Schmidt, you are not Ding Kang Pham, you are not Jesse Kwan. And so unless you are like some really top tier player who's like dominating every event you go to, your decision to not include Ash is probably wrong because you probably haven't thought about it well enough. Like, you probably just haven't got the skill level where you're consistently getting to the finals and consistently topping, and you can think of micro interactions where Ash is going to be bad. For the average player in the average matches you're going to play, Ash is going to be pound for pound the most high value hand trap because it's going to do the most of the time. And so just because of that, play Ash. Don't play Ash. If you're like Joshua Schmidt or something, you're not watching this video, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, everyone else, just play Ash. Don't worry about it. All of these YouTubers telling you not to play Ash, I don't know why they're saying it to you. They're not helping you. They're not the ones who are going to lose the event by not playing Ash Blossom. And the only thing I would say in the Snake Eye matchup is you just have to be careful when you use Ash. So just being smart about the point you use it. Sometimes you might want to use it when they send two, for example, when they send like an Oak and Ash out of the deck to pull out a Flamberge, for example. So if they haven't put a Flamberge in the column and they send an Oak and something, Ash and Oak often, which is the line they'll often do when they only open one Snake Eye Ash. Ashing there is huge because now they've chucked two monsters off the field. All they have is a Poplar. They can't do anything. Things like that. Outside of that, yeah, it's a good card to play it. Phantasme, I think Phantasme is quite nice. I think the ability to draw into cards is always going to be quite helpful. I think another nice thing about Phantasme is that targeting protection is going to come up. And also, actually, the last thing is that this will come up a lot on your turn. A lot of the times, Snake Eye players are going to be summoning the IP and stuff on your turn, which means you don't even have to play into talents a lot of the times with this card. So I think it's great. Dogwood is always going to be, I think, eternally at least here, just because it's a time card. Sometimes you're going to lose in time. I've put Gamma here, but this is Gamma and Delta. I think it's terrible. I think Gamma and Delta are both... I think Gamma is fantastic, but you're playing Delta, really. And I think the problem is I don't think Delta does enough in pretty much any scenario. I think that it doesn't do enough to justify playing the brick. I think Gamma did. Gamma, destroying a body, a monster, and then also putting bodies on the... Destroying a monster and also negating the effect, I think is really relevant. I think with a spell, there's two issues. Firstly, a lot of spells have activation clauses where if their activation is negated, you can just use another one. So that's the first issue, where a lot of the spells that you would want to negate, they can just activate another one. Now, they're not necessarily going to have a second, but that's not great. The second issue is, if you think about the Snake Eye combo and the spells that you can negate, most of them just get hit by other cards just as well. And then now you've played into Thrust for no reason, or now you've given them some bodies to steal. So because of that, I just don't ever see a scenario where it's really worth playing Delta or Gamma right now. I think if Gamma was at 2, maybe I could see 2 Gamma, 1 Delta, but I don't ever really want to see Delta in my hand. I just don't think it's a good card. Skullmaster's bad. Yeah, it's just a different kind of bell, basically, but it's just not relevant. I think DD Crow is good. I used to really love this card. It's gone down a bit for me. I think the only unfortunate reality of DD Crow is that even though it's nice and it removes the body and stuff like that, unlike all of these hand traps, it's like DD Crow, like, it doesn't really interact with your opponent's current plays a lot of the time. Sometimes it does, but not always. And because of that, it just makes me not want to play it over these cards. And then lastly, no material. So yeah, no material's bad. It just doesn't do anything. But yeah, as you can see, guys, it's very top heavy this time. And it's because we're in a heavy hand trap format. You do need to be playing. It's like, it's so hard to not justify having all of these cards somewhere in your deck if you can play them apart from Shifter, I guess. And because of that, that's why, like, we're in a heavy hand trap format. That's how you're going to see a lot of the hand traps at the top end of the list. But let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Peace.